Hi, welcome to ShowMeTheCurry.com. I'm Hital, and today I'm making chocolate covered strawberries. Now I know all of you have been to the store during Valentine's Day, and they're everywhere, these beautiful chocolate covered strawberries. They've got designs all over them, but if you ever looked at the price tag, you know they're super expensive. So we're gonna make these today. You won't believe how cheap they are to make and how easy they are, and you'll wonder why they're so expensive in the store. But anyway, we have some really nice and fresh strawberries here. Now when you're picking strawberries for this application, you want to make sure that you find really nice and fresh, firm strawberries. If they're on their way out, they're not going to be good for this recipe. But you want to make sure that the stems are nice and bright green and they don't have any blemishes on the skin. So if you can find really nice big strawberries, they look fabulous. But even if you have smaller ones, that's okay. They're all going to taste delicious. So what I already went ahead and did was I washed the strawberries really well, rinsed them in cold water, and then I shook off all the water and put them on a nice clean kitchen towel. So what this is going to do is this is going to make sure that the strawberries are nice and dry. You don't want any wet strawberries, and if you have to, leave them out for about 30 minutes or so until they're super dry, and if you need to help them along, you can also dab on them like so. But anyway, these strawberries are nice and dry. So for this recipe, we're going to be using 1 pound of fresh strawberries and, of course, chocolate. Now, you can use any type of chocolate. This is such a forgiving recipe. You can use any type of chocolate that you like. I'm using Nestle Toll House semi-sweet chocolate chips. Now, I have a big bag of this laying around because my kids use it in their pancakes and they eat it just like that, and cookies. But a lot of people like dark chocolate. So if you're one of those who like dark chocolate, you can use dark chocolate, you can use white chocolate, you can use semi-sweet, you can use milk chocolate, you can use any kind of chocolate that you like. The only difference is going to be in the texture. A lot of the more expensive chocolates have a little more fat in them, and when you melt them, they're a little smoother. So I'll get to that in a little while, but you need 1 cup of chocolate, and you also need, for decoration, some white chocolate chips. So this is completely optional. You can have just brown chocolate strawberries, or you can have strawberries with a little white design on them. So to melt the chocolate, we're going to use a double boiler method, which is really simple. It's just a pot of water that's simmering, and we have another pot or bowl that fits on top of it, and we're going to put that in and go ahead and put our chocolate inside. I'm also going to add 1 tablespoon of oil. Now this is just regular cooking oil, canola oil. And what the oil does is it really helps the chocolate to melt into a really smooth, nice, creamy sauce. Now, like I said before, if you are using one of the more expensive chocolates, they do tend to have a little more fat in them, and they're smooth anyway. So that 1 tablespoon of oil is scalable. You can add a little more, a little less, depending on how your chocolate is. Now be careful, this bowl gets hot, so be sure you have something to hold on to. And we're just going to let the chocolate melt with the heat. And that's going to take a few minutes to do that. Now, I know a lot of you are going to ask, why can't we use a microwave? That seems like the easiest thing to do to melt this chocolate. And you really can use a microwave, but you'll have to keep stirring it because chocolate has a tendency to burn, and the microwave heats at such an uneven rate that you have to keep stirring it, take it out, stirring it, putting it back in. And it gets a little tedious. And the other thing is, anything that you heat in the microwave, it heats up really fast, but it also cools down really fast. With a double boiler method, at least the chocolate remains in a nice warm state. So when you're actually dipping your strawberries in it, it stays warm, it doesn't cool down, and you don't have to go in the middle of it and heat it up again. And it's just been about 2 or 3 minutes. You want to keep stirring it, and when it's nice and creamy and smooth, I'm going to switch off the stove, but I'm going to go ahead and leave the chocolate on the hot water just so that it remains warm throughout our entire process. So chocolate is melted, our strawberries are washed and dried, and now I have this nice large baking pan, and I have some parchment paper. Now if you don't have parchment paper, you can also use wax paper, you can use foil even, and it works just fine. Just going to cut a piece and flatten it out into our pan and give this chocolate one more mix. We're going to take our nice strawberry. Now what I'm going to do is pull up this green stem and basically hold the strawberry with the stem and just gently dip it in on all sides. Now you want a little bit of the red to show up because it just looks really pretty that way, and just shake off the excess. Pick it up like that and place it onto the parchment paper. And we're going to continue on with the rest of the strawberries. So the only thing you want to remember is when you're placing your strawberries on your pan, just make sure that they're not touching each other. And after you've covered all your strawberries, you may have just a little bit of chocolate left. So what you can do is you can take anything else, like I have some marshmallows here, and just dip those in. Same method. Or even if you have pretzels, those are delicious. So once the strawberries are all coated with the chocolate, we're going to work on the design on top. Now, you can leave it just like this if you like, but here's an optional step. I have some white chocolate chips and a microwave-safe bowl. And we're going to put just about a handful of these chips inside here. And I'm going to put this in the microwave, and I'm going to heat it in 15-second increments. And depending on how powerful your microwave is, you may want to scale down or up. But between 15 to 20 seconds each increment. Take it out, mix it, put it in, mix it, and you want to make it a nice smooth sauce, just like our brown chocolate, how it was. So this took about a minute, and it's smooth, but it's not falling like I want it to fall. So I'm going to add just a little bit of oil, like half a teaspoon or so in there, and it's going to help smoothen it out. And mix it through really well. Now it's dripping perfectly. So here's our strawberries, and we're going to take this with our fork and just drizzle the white chocolate over all of the strawberries. And of course, these don't have to be perfect. They look better, actually, when they're a little bit off-centered. Perfect. Now this is going to go to the refrigerator for about 45 minutes to an hour, and the chocolate is going to settle on there, and then we're ready to present. So the strawberries have been chilling in the refrigerator for about an hour, and they're nice and firm. If you just touch it, you can tell that the chocolate has completely solidified on top of it. So a couple of things you want to remember is that the shelf life of these strawberries is not very long, because first of all, we dip the strawberry into a nice warm chocolate mixture, so that warm chocolate will deteriorate the strawberries or make them spoil a lot faster. So the shelf life would be about a day. So if you make it today, by tomorrow they need to be done. But I don't think you're going to have any trouble with that. So let's give it a try. This is about the easiest dessert you can possibly make, and it's going to be a fabulous showstopper for your guests, for your kids, or your special sweetheart. So enjoy these delicious chocolate-covered strawberries, and join me again on another episode of ShowMeTheCurry.com, adding a pinch of spice to your life.
Hi, I'm Sejal, and today I'm making chocolate-covered strawberries. You will love these strawberries because they are covered in chocolate. So, step number 1, you must have strawberries. And step number 2, you must have chocolate. So, you have to take the chocolate and melt it to make the chocolate into liquid form. Then, when it's in liquid form, you take the strawberries and dip it in the chocolate. And voila! You have gotten a chocolate-covered strawberry.